Hello everybody, my name is Commodore Katz and welcome back to SatisFACTOry Early Access Alpha number 2, featuring trains and nuclear power in the latest edition. When we last left off, I finished up this lovely yet simple production of iron plates, pressed neatly and cleanly. And today in this episode, we're just going to really quickly set up a really simple iron rod sort of production right on top of all of these iron plates that are also being made. Now, one of the lovely things about producing 60 iron plates a minute is you'll notice that very quickly my storage containers will be filled up with iron plates, and I will never have to worry about that ever again in the foreseeable future. So today, to get started, I'm going to go collect some concrete that I have just laying around after I give my inventory a quick sorting out. And actually, I won't need this iron ore anymore, so I'm just going to go ahead and junk it really quick. And let me go ahead and start these leaves. And our inventory is starting to look pretty good. Now, the first thing I'm going to want to do setting up my iron rod production is, of course, I'm going to put it on the second level. Oh, really? And there's no crouch button in this game. Well, none that I can be bothered to find. So, we're going to fill up our inventory full of handy dandy concrete. And we're just going to start by walling off all of our assets. I'm just going to have a really quick time lapse, and I'll be right back after I get my floor all sorted and dusted with. So I'll see you guys in a moment. Alright, I'm back. So I just really quickly walled in this all haphazard like. Those of y'all with a keen eye might see that I do not yet have the doors or, anything fancy like that. So we just have to sort of make do. Remember, everything here is completely temporary and all part of my grand plan. Don't worry. Yeah, grand plan, like I have one of those. Alright, so we're going to ship up some more raw iron up here. And we're going to fashion it all into handy dandy little iron rods. So, we are pretty much going to want the remainder of the 2 iron nodes that we have all into iron rods. Half the iron rods will go into what we have now, and the other half will go into funding screws. Now, screws are going to be very important by way of manufacturing the reinforced iron plates. However, it may be a better idea to make the screws on site, but for that we will still need an exorbitant amount of iron rods. So we're going to start off with a few smelters here, just to quickly feed into all of those rods. 3 and 4 smelters should give us the exact coverage that we need for all of the rods that we're gonna use for this production line. So, and of course we're gonna need splitters as well, because we're just gonna split them as they come in. So first splitter being right here, and just so I can get a nice clean 90-degree turn right here, I'm gonna put one splitter per each of these. I know it's not ideal or, you know, pretty, but well, it'll definitely look prettier rather than having exorbitant spaghetti. Efficiency be damned. We're gonna make things the fancy way. So these are also gonna be fed in raw iron ore. That's gonna be smelted down into iron ingots, and then the ingots are gonna be rolled out into iron rods, and then after they're rolled out in iron rods, they're going to be asked nicely to turn into iron screws. So there we have our 4 smelters. We should easily take the entire load of all of the iron ore that we're going to be producing. We're only producing 60 per minute, and these happy little pups will consume 30 per minute. And they will feed directly into constructors, turning them into neat little rods. So I'm going to add a little bit of space here because these constructors are ever so slightly wider than the smelters. That should be plenty of room. And would you look at that, it seems as though I've run out of materials. So we're just going to run back really quickly. I'm really looking forward into getting into the later stages of the game, but sadly as it stands right now, this is it. And also, I don't seem to have any power running through the base. Everything is at a standstill. What's up with that? Got power there. Got some biomass there. Got no fuel there. Or here. What about over here? And no fuel here. And no fuel here. Well, it appears as though I've ran out of fuel. No matter. Just gather up some of this wood that I've had laying around, and let's make more biomass. And it might be smart to go ahead and see if I can't research biofuel, which is a more efficient variety of biomass. So here's half a stack for you, half a stack for you, and my nice little thirsty boys, here's a full stack for you, and a full stack for you. We're gonna go ahead and chunk this all on. What we have right now is the 6 should be plenty to power up what we're running right now. However, when I expand some more, it appears as though we're running not that close to the line, but we will need some more power generation before I get this entire amalgamation of screws and plates up and running. Oh yeah, I'm out of cables as well. Yeah, I'm pretty short-sighted when it comes to things like that. However, you know, this is all for the greater good. The greater good of me helping out my boss. And you know, my boss was very helpful to me. He sent me on an all-expense-paid trip to this nice little, you know, secluded planet, along with a cute little animation I could watch. I don't know if I slept on the way here or what, but you know, in a small pod, I better have been asleep. Boredom would have drove me crazy if I was in there myself. Alright, so just having a quick look in my bag. Looks like I've got a pretty alright amount of materials. If I don't have enough, I'll just quickly craft a workbench up here. Sneaky workbenches are always helpful. And let's make our way back up to the top. We're going to ignore these random foundations for now. They're not bothering anybody just by laying around. Maybe bothering some of you mentally, but you know, I'm fine with them. So let's go ahead and craft some constructors. And as I can see, I can only really have room for one more. So these produce 30 iron plates or iron ingots per minute, and these will consume 15 per minute, which means one of these will be enough to supply 2 of these, which, if you look at my configuration of my nice little, you know, smoking area, I'm probably not going to have enough room for, you know, an entire array of these. Should probably think about expanding my platform out a little bit, but we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. So, let's... Oh no. Oh no. I don't even have enough iron rods to make any more craft tables. But I am a man. An incredibly lazy man. You know, playing a game of production like this, why produce something yourself? I mean, you can just have a machine do it for you. Now that is beautiful. So let's work our way out. I don't think I'll need any more concrete anytime soon. I think my rudimentary production for now will be enough to sustain me for a while. But next time we have a power outage, I'm definitely going to need to go on a great crusade to get this done. Speaking of getting this done, I'm going to go ahead and finish setting up this little iron rod construction, and I'll come back in a moment to see what you guys think. So I'll be back in a moment. I'll be back momentarily, and I'll see you guys as soon as I finish. Alright, and we're back. So I just quickly set up a little ragtag rudimentary configuration. I just did it on the fly and I thought it looked pretty cool at the time, so that's just what I went with. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just picking up some more wire. We're about to go up and wire up the creation and watch it all start, hopefully flawlessly. Now, I know probably most definitely we're gonna suffer a power outage relatively soon. However, that is no problem. No problem at all. We can just work around that by pretending we have power. Yes, there is no power shortage here. Everyone just carry on. We have plenty of power. Oh god. Oh, I thought I was up to my old tricks again. So, what I have right here is a nice little array of 8 constructors. that are being fed by 4 furnaces, or smelters rather. And let me see if I can't cheese this a little bit. Right here it is. So the smelters will be feeding iron rods into all of our lovely little constructors here, and they will be drawn out into iron rods, half of which will be fed into some screws, which will then also be used to feed into reinforced iron plates into the next floor up. And once we get to that point, Iron Tower will be complete, and I will make sure it's all pretty for you guys in the following episode. So I figured I'd play around with this little thing, the conveyor lift. I mean, it seems pretty cool. I assume it's set up correctly. I connected it up there, and hopefully we'll see iron rods be lifted down and into our little storage containers down here. So I have these set up, both of these to collect iron rods, and eventually I'll have a couple more storage containers on top that will be for screws, and everything in here will go up and be fed directly into the reinforced iron plates. That is a buffer, if you will. So let's go ahead and have a quick look at what's going on with our power, but not before I connect this lovely floor up to my little array of power lines down here. I'm making it like this, not necessarily for redundancy's sake, but you know, so I don't run out of connections. Things are pretty dicey when you first start out. I'm going to assume these run out of power first. Yep, I only put 100 biomass each in there. And I don't really have much in the way of biomass. So, oh god, looks like I can run through all of these really quickly. I seem to have perhaps overproduced slightly, but that's a good thing in this game. So I'm just going to drop in everything I need, and 3, 2, 1.
Milestone reached.
Milestone
You have unlocked
reached.
several structures aimed to provide the first needed to build basic factory infrastructure. Additionally, the biofuel blueprint will ensure improved fuel consumption of biomass burners. Additionally, you can now build the space elevator, which is integral to your contribution to project assembly.
Lovely. So while we're waiting a couple minutes for the pod to return, I'm just going to go ahead and smack down a door right here. Which one's... I'm guessing that's the outside door. And I'm just going to put a couple of walls here and pretend like I don't see... What have I done? Just going to put a couple of walls here. And pretend that my factory is still pretty, because it won't be later on. Lovely. I'm also going to throw down some quick walls right here. I wouldn't say it's quite as quick walling as you'd see in some pro level Age of Empires games. Now right here, it's a very dicey situation. So I can either let that go, or I could... Oh, but that light doesn't make it look very lovely. Whatever. At least it's not clipping or anything. So, right here. Let me go ahead and... Yep. I placed these in the worst possible locations I could think of. Because we would need... What is it under... It's not under organization. Ooh. They added a really super thin foundation. I like that. I like that a lot. Do I not have the... I'm going to assume I don't have the wall holes yet where I can easily feed those conveyors through. You're going to make me work for that wall hole. Oh, there it is, conveyor walls. It's a whole separate thing. Yeah, so it looks like I set those up on the exact opposite of where I need them. But real quickly, I'm just gonna grab some handy dandy iron plates, and let's just burn through a couple more of these milestones that I have reached. More milestones I burn through, the easier it will be for me to build an impressive looking factory, I suppose. Sounds like the pod's back. And let's see. I have everything I need for this. 5 more inventory slots would be amazing. And I have everything I need for this. I could probably research both of these. All it will take is some time in between. And these are nearly more of the same. I'm pretty close to all of these milestones. So I'm just gonna grab conveyor walls. It's slightly cheaper. And no rest for my pod. I'm just gonna send that straight back up.
To ensure optimal
Back to the
use
wolves.
of space, navigation, and tidiness, R&D have developed stairs and conveyor walls.
Alright, so I will be able to craft some biomass, and with this biomass I will be able to create biofuel. Biofuel is a lot more efficient than biomass by way of being able to do more stuff. Real quickly, I'm going to store some of my materials here and be sure I have some inventory space left over. Perhaps I should have gotten just the inventory space. However, I'm gonna go on a biofuel hunt. That was easy. Now I'm gonna need a lot more than a few leaves to fuel this factory, at least for the initial stages. Perhaps I'll set up a temporary little factory for me to just, put in leaves and put in wood in one place, and then out comes biofuel, and it will be a near automatic feed. I'm not sure if I want to rush into coal per se, though getting coal would be very helpful. The only problem with coal is that the nearest coal to where I am is leagues away. I mean, it's going to be an absolute trek to get there, and it's going to be a small fortune in wires and concrete just building the power lines to get there. So, however, I would think that coal is a much better route than fussing over biofuel every, 20 minutes or so. Here comes my pod again. So I'm just going to crank out some more biofuel. And it looks like I gathered a decent amount. So biofuel is handy because you can really stretch out that biomass when you start making biofuel. And in my other factory, I've actually haven't gotten so far as to do oil yet, and I'm really looking forward to experiencing oil with you guys. But real quick, I'm just going to split this stack of biofuel, throw some fuel in there, throw some fuel in there, and let's see how these guys are doing. You still have like a whole stack, or half a stack. This one has 3/4 of a stack, and this one barely has any. Oh, look at that. Oh, check it out. I didn't know you had crafting recipes below all these. That is very interesting. However, I think there was one major thing I forgot to do, and then we're going to switch everything on and watch the production happen, and then we can end the episode there. Alright, so let me go up and go ahead and do a quick scouting out. Now, there's one big thing I don't think I did. I actually don't think I set these up to make iron rods. No, I did not. In which, if you look here, you can make biomass out of leaves and wood and turn it all into biofuel. And it's a pretty simple process, especially if you're just going to spitball it and not really do it for efficiency. Just sort of plug and play sort of factory or something really quickly. It's not too bad. Then we can collect all the biofuel in bins. I think that will be very helpful. Instead of me having to collect a bunch and then stand around, I can just dump everything in a container and let it sort. I wish there were sorters in the game. I don't know if there is at this stage. Oh, there's definitely not in this stage. If you put 2 things in a bin, it'll just shoot everything out. But, perhaps later on we'll be able to Oh, I haven't even hooked these up yet. Silly me, silly me. So I'm going to go on another quick time lapse and hook these up. Pardon my... I don't know. I was getting excited. This is a very exciting thing for me. So I think this is the inside. Yeah. And just for pity's sake. Oh, no. Why gotta be this way? Why have to be this way? You know? I'm afraid I'm gonna have to do it to him. And of course, me with the great foresight that I have, I set these up right above the other conveyor belts. But no matter. It's no match for me. I can BS my way around all this. So hopefully that will run the right way. Oh, lovely. It's even facing the wrong way. Can I... Ooh. Ooh. Interesting. So that'll definitely be enough. And that looks awful. And that should be good enough. As you guys can tell, I'm really going for this rustic factory look. Really nice and chaotic, you know. Chaotic evil. And it appears as though that both of these iron mines are ready to go. I don't think I have them on standby, but I will happily just relay this iron over to here. Also happily destroy these. And ship the raw materials towards the factory. I really want to see this. I really want to see what these wall climbers will do. I think I've already turned everything on again. It appears as though I have. Alright, let's watch these. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. New animations. Sketty. Oh, that's beautiful. I love it, and it's perfect in every way. Now let's go catch the rest of the magic happening. I do have enough for a lookout tower, but now's not the time for a lookout tower. The lookout tower won't really benefit me in a factory that's, you know, vertical. I won't really be looking down on anything. Oh, here goes my lovely little iron ingots. Iron ingots will come out, and they will produce lovely little iron rods. Now, before you guys say anything, Alex, aren't you going to be producing 120 rods per minute, and your belt is only really capable of holding 60? Why, you'd be right. And that is a massive lack of foresight for me. However, it doesn't appear my right side is producing. Well, perhaps it is. It just hasn't really caught up yet. Yeah, my right side's producing. So I will be overproducing for this first little part. I don't really have the space to squeeze in 2 belts. I mean, I would have the space if I scooted everything together. Pardon me there, I was just making sure my microphone was unmuted. Or, you know. But I think I'm going to be overproducing here for a little bit. I don't think I'll quite have the belt capacity to actually fit everything at the moment. I'll get it fixed before next episode. However, yeah, the first iron ingot's starting to come down here. So yeah, I'm definitely way going to be overproducing this, at least so far as my belts can carry. And I really don't think there's a stage in the game right now. I can't really rush into conveyor belts Mark II. Either you guys are going to have to live with inefficiency, or I'm going to have to fix it. maybe I can find a way to cheese out the elevation with these new stackable splitters and whatnot. But I think there might be enough room for... No, there isn't. There is not enough room. I would have to move my entire assembly back, probably a whole foundation's worth, to be able to fit in another bit of assemblers. But look, ignore that. Look at this. Got some iron rods. Now this is fun. This, well, it was fun. But hey, we can use our newfound riches to try to burn through a couple more milestones. Say all good things have to come to an end, and you know, sadly I don't have any real biomass saved up right now. I'm gonna have to go on a great crusade against all forest life. All these trees around me will soon be gone. Wait till I get my chainsaw. Nature will fear me. Trees will tremble. Even the mightiest of which will be fallen before my might. Whatever these things are made out of, you've overstayed your welcome. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and I think, you know, surprisingly, this will be the end of Tier 1. And after Tier 1, we can move on to Tier 2, and so on and so forth. Boom. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Milestone reached. Additional storage options have been provided. R&D.
Alright, sorry Ada. But next we're going to be looking at getting into part assembly, which is where we're really going to be using up all of our screws that I'm talking about getting eventually. We'll be feeding that directly into the assembler and making reinforced iron plates. And I might be looking into this milestone and walkways and everything. So it actually looks like I won't be able to access the rest of the tiers before I set up my good old space elevator, and that is going to be quite a bold undertaking. I'm going to need to set up some wire automation, of course a lot more than I have now, and also if you'll notice it's a massive building. I'm talking it's huge, so we're going to have to find a nice clear area for that. I was thinking about putting it up there, but it doesn't look very structurally sound. Not that, you know, physics is a real big part of this game. Or maybe I can just find a nice clean patch of desert to set it in. Wherever it is, it needs to be a nice central location of the base, because I'll be using it a lot for a lot of my later game shipments. Because I do know later in the game I'm going to have to be cramming a lot of junk into that trunk. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 2 of SatisFACTORY. Next time I'll be looking into cleaning up my iron rod production, as well as setting up some screw production, and that will feed directly into the reinforced iron plates, and this building will be complete. It'll be about 4 or 5 floors when everything is said and done. However, I'm very happy with the progress I've made so far, no matter how short-sighted it may be. When I get done setting up the rest of the production in this building, I'm going to expand it, clean it up, everything, make it look nice, and I'll have a lovely showcase for you all. But until then, I bid you adieu. If you like my content, please like and subscribe. It would really help me out, especially since I only have a couple of subscribers now. But I'm looking forward to entertaining you guys in the future, and I'll see you all next time. See you later, guys.